and kind of swatted at Caitlin. Did you intend to hit her in the eye? And if so, could you just, or if not, either way, could you talk about what happened on that play?
I don't even know why I would intend to hit anybody in the eye. That doesn't even make sense to me. But no, I didn't. I didn't know I hit her, actually. I was trying to make a play on the ball, and I guess I followed through and I hit her. So obviously it's never intentional. That's not even like the type of player that I am.
Basically reached around Sheppard's body, but the fact that she went for the basketball and for the block really...
The basketball play.
Yeah, it is. And she ends up getting Sheppard in the face, the nose. I don't know which takes precedent. Oh, see, it's the hit the ball and then it's the pull back. They're showing it on the Jumbotron at a different angle that sort of looked like, watch after Carrington.
Nobody wanted smoke with her. Not the players, not the refs, not even her own teammates. So when the Dallas Wings told DiJonai Carrington, yeah, it's time, and shipped her out, nobody was shocked. We're talking about the same player who poked Caitlin Clark in the eye during the playoffs, messed around, and injured her own teammate, Paige Bueckers, and tried to take out Jessica Sheppard in a reckless closeout that had folks gasping. And let's not forget the Chicago Sky Game chaos. 4 flagrant fouls, and the ref straight up called for security. Security. This ain't tough defense anymore.
Was staying out of headlines on the internet. She was always in headlines, punching players in the eye. And then we have to remember, she nearly injured Paige. Like, everybody forgot about that. Y'all remember when she nearly injured Paige, nearly took her whole knee out? Like, we got to remember all of those things transpired during this basketball season, man. I'm here to tell you, they made it their business to...
This is straight up dangerous. The Wings were done babysitting that kind of drama. If you think Carrington's time in the WNBA should be over, go ahead and comment fire Carrington right now. But before we get into how Dallas finally pulled the plug, let's be real about why they had to. There's a line between playing with grit and straight up hurting people. Carrington crossed it multiple times. Her game tape doesn't look like highlights. It looks like an injury report. Let's start with the one that had the whole league talking. That infamous eye poke on Caitlin Clark during the 2024 playoffs. You remember the scene? Connecticut Sun versus Indiana Fever first round. Clark pulls up for her signature shot, and here comes Carrington closing in fast. But instead of contesting the shot, her hand goes straight into Clark's face, right in the eye. Not a graze, not a swipe, direct contact. Clark's head snapped back hard, and she instantly clutched her face in pain. You could see the red forming and the crowd dead silent. Everyone watching at home stunned. This wasn't just a hard foul. It was the moment Carrington went from tough defender to public enemy number 1. The rookie phenom who put the fever on her back all season long, Caitlin Clark, was left with a nasty black eye. That image, it became the face of the playoff.
You don't get to plow through somebody's back, almost injure a teammate, and then say, yeah. And then, like, claim that you've done nothing. You've done nothing. Like, and people are like, stand on business. She's like trying to laugh at it. I'm like, no, you're just Pat Bev. You're not Draymond, you're Pat Bev. Like, realistically, you're Pat Bev. That's it. And like, look, and I mean this when I say this, it was...
But here's what most people missed about that dirty play. The aftermath exposed just how calculated Carrington's whole vibe really is. While Clark was out here dealing with swelling and blurred vision, Carrington, she acted like nothing happened. No apology, no concern, not even a second glance. She didn't show regret. She showed pride. Like she was standing on business. And it didn't stop there. Fast forward to June 4th against the Seattle Storm. Same energy, same chaos. Skylar Diggins was sprinting down the court looking to finish strong on the fast break. Carrington came in to contest, but instead of going for the ball, she clobbered Skylar right in the head. No finesse, no clean block, just straight-up contact. The refs didn't hesitate. Flagrant 1. And anyone with eyes could see it wasn't just physical basketball. It was wild. It was reckless. And it was becoming a pattern. Analysts caught it. Fans called it out. This wasn't some random rough night. This was her routine. Always going at star players. Always reckless with the face and head area. One fan nailed it on social media. That's not physicality. That's a trash play from a dirty player who shouldn't even be on the court. And honestly, they weren't wrong. With every new foul, the outrage grew louder. The black eye on Clark became more than a moment.
10 games into the season, there are more times than not of DiJonai playing dirty, get a flagrant foul. Oh my goodness, DiJonai, what's wrong with you, man? Is this what your coaches condone? Is this what your coaches, like, Christy 2.0, whatever we want to call this coach? I mean, are we...
Came the blueprint. Suddenly, every Carrington hit was being rewatched, replayed, and reevaluated through that same lens. This wasn't defense anymore. It was destruction. Reckless, wild, and always locked in on the league's biggest names. Whether it was veterans like Skylar Diggins or breakout stars like Caitlin Clark, Carrington had a pattern. Go for the face, aim for the head, leave a mess behind. And Dallas, they couldn't keep covering for her. Every week brought a new headline, a new flagrant, a new controversy. But the worst part, she didn't just go after opponents, she ended up hurting her own squad. That's when it crossed into straight-up madness. May 21st versus Minnesota. That game exposed everything wrong with how Carrington moves on the court. It was pure chaos. The kind that don't just ruin plays, it wrecks locker rooms. Jessica Shepard goes up for a shot. Carrington comes crashing in doing her usual high-speed, high-risk routine.
NBA player who tried to rip Caitlin Clark's eye out. Zach Dean over at Outkick, hilarious. They tried to rip Caitlin Clark's eye out, has security called on her by ref. That's right. The referee had to call security on DiJonai Carrington. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, hell, who wants to catch a stray eye gouge, a scoopage of the eyeball out, watching your eyeball roll across the floor because...
But instead of playing smart D, she goes right for the face again, smacks Shepard across the eyes. Another flagrant foul. Obvious, intentional, dangerous. Same old story. But this time, the mess didn't stop there trying to take out Shepard. Her own teammate, Paige Buers, got caught in the crossfire. One wild out-of-control lunge. And now even her teammates weren't safe. Like, how does that even happen? Think about that. You're supposed to be protecting the people in your jersey, but Carrington was out here turning games into demolition derbies, friendly fire and all. To create that much damage in one play, you can't just be aggressive. You've got to be totally out of control and laser-focused on hurting someone. No matter who gets hit along the way, she wasn't just breaking the rules. She was breaking trust. Even her own teammates started asking the real question. Is hooping next to Carrington even worth it? When you're showing up to practice worried about catching an elbow or catching heat from your own teammate mid-aim, that's not competition, that's chaos. Paige Buers wasn't the only one feeling it. Other Wings players started showing that same frustrated body language. Side eyes shrugging her off, keeping distance. You could see the tension. They knew one wrong move, and they'd be the next casualty of Carrington's out-of-pocket defense. And it wasn't just Dallas noticing. Minnesota's bench saw it live and up close. The Lynx coaching staff had front-row seats to the madness. Carrington wasn't just targeting their stars. She was taking out her own team in the process. You could literally see the disgust on their faces as she lunged wildly.
Yeah, you see this guy right here? Right in this Gentile area? Let me just, you see this guy? The ref asked this dude to step out here. All right? Now, Cheryl Swoops wants this referee fired. She wants him fired. Look, he felt something. He felt something was amiss. Of course, Cheryl Swoops.
Lynx player's face, nearly taking out Bucharest in the same play. That wasn't physicality. That wasn't hustle. That was someone completely out of control. At that point, the Dallas front office had no choice but to reevaluate. This wasn't just about fouls or missed calls. It was about culture. You can't build a winning team when your own roster feels unsafe. You can't develop chemistry when players are scared of what might happen the next time they share the floor with their own teammate. When you're hurting your own locker room trying to hurt the other team, it's over. That's the line. And Carrington crossed it again and again. This wasn't just a bad stretch. This was a full-blown pattern that infected everything around her. Even the refs started switching up, treating her like a walking incident report. Not because of reputation, but because of what she kept doing on that court.
I told you last time. I'm going to tell you again. You better bring your game to Minnesota or next season you might not even be here. You might not even be here next year. You might be playing on a minimum next year to be in this league. Straight up. You got to understand, you was the same person going on podcasts talking about if we don't get what we want, we sitting and all that. You're not even good enough to be.
The last time you saw a referee call for security on a player during a game. Welcome to the DiJonai Carrington experience, where things don't just get heated, they get straight up dangerous. The wildest moment, that Chicago Sky game on May 30th, 2025. Dallas had just taken a tough L 97-92. Emotions were high, but what happened after the final whistle shocked everyone. Carrington got into it with referee Roy Gold, and things escalated fast. So fast that Goldbean made a move never seen before in WNBA history. He called for security. Now think about that for a second. Refs are trained to handle pressure. They deal with shouting, frustration, even heated stares every night. But whatever Carrington said, whatever vibe she was giving off, it made an experienced official feel so uncomfortable, so threatened that he didn't just walk away. He called for backup. This wasn't just a bad attitude after a loss. This was a hostile.
Ball's being pushed down court. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, this will be a better angle of it. I think we'll be able to see how hard the foul is right here. That's a hard foul.
And it came from one player. The players and coaches nearby couldn't believe what they were watching. The disbelief was written all over their faces. Some had been in the league for years, seen every kind of trash talk and scuffle. But this was different. Security called on a player. That's the level of dysfunction Carrington was bringing to the court. And instead of calming it down afterwards, she doubled down online. She hopped on social media and posted, "Security, when I'm literally having a civil conversation is insane." Civil, that's what she called it. Fans were stunned. Teammates went quiet, far off the rails. And
could it have been called a flagrant 2? Yes. Was it more dangerous to Paige Beckers than anyone else? Because Paige Beckers was the one who was the person who had to break Jessica Shepard's fall. Could she have blown out her teammate's knee? Yeah. Like that is what, like realistically, that is what the conversation should be about. Because she wanted the Kiki Iriafen viral meme. Because as soon as she did it, look at what she does as soon as she did it. As soon as she did, she walks towards Jessica Shepard and just does.
The receipts were right there in the footage. Carrington had officially become the storm no locker room wanted to deal with. Let's be real. When a ref calls over security and your first reaction is to play it off like a civil conversation, that's wild. Carrington's response showed zero self-awareness, like none. If your version of calm requires security guards, maybe it wasn't that calm after all. For fans already fed up with her chaos, this was the final straw. People had watched her eye-poke Caitlin Clark, swing on Skylar Diggins, and injure her own teammate in the middle of a dirty play. And now she's beefing with officials so hard.
Dallas Wings DiJonai Carrington has been traded to the Minnesota Lynx in exchange for Diamond Miller, Carly Samuelson, and Minnesota 2027 second-round pick.
Calling for backup after the final buzzer. Nah, this ain't basketball anymore. This is a full-on liability. Those 4 flagrant fouls weren't random. They were warnings. Each one built up to this exact moment. A clear pattern. A player spiraling with no breaks. And the league couldn't ignore it any longer. Once refs start calling for protection just to have a conversation with you, you've crossed into a whole new level of trouble. This wasn't about competitive fire.
They're not really rocking with you. They're trying to get rid of you. They're giving no reassurance that they want you around at all. You can't get in the game in the fourth quarters. You're buried in the bench. You've been awful this season. It looks like you've forgotten how to play basketball completely. And what do you know? Good morning. DiJonai Carrington has been traded. DiJonai Carrington has been traded to the Minnesota.
It wasn't about grit. This was a player turning every court she touched into a pressure cooker. And finally, Dallas said enough. After months of trying to spin it, cover for it, and act like it wasn't that deep, the Wings made the move everyone saw coming. They shipped Carrington out of town. The deal? Dallas sent Carrington to the Minnesota Lynx in exchange for Diamond Miller, Carly Sampson, and a 2027 second-round pick. The Wings get pieces to rebuild some peace. And the Lynx, man, they just imported drama into a championship-ready locker room. Minnesota is sitting at 245, eyeing the top spot, breathing down New York Liberty's neck. And now they've added Carrington to the mix. A walking headline, a wild card with a history of flagrant plays and locker room tension. The trade wasn't just surprising.
He's not going to be going for your tomfoolery, your BS. When you get over there, trim the nails down, play basketball, and stop all that nonsense that you be doing. Stop all the flagrant fouling. Look, Cheryl Reeves ain't going to be going for all that. She ain't going to be going for your bull crap. You will be buried in the bench over there, too. Cheryl Reeves will bury your ass in the bench over there, too. Bring your game, not your name. Bring your game.
Bold because whatever Carrington brings to the court, she also brings the kind of smoke that could shift an entire team's energy. Now Minnesota just brought in a player known more for causing chaos than winning basketball. Wild move for a title-contending squad. But let's flip it. What exactly did Dallas get back? Oh, they made out just fine. Diamond Miller. That's real value. She was the number 2 overall pick in the 2023 WNBA draft and instantly made noise, earning her spot on the all-rookie team. During her first year, she put up 12, 1 points, 3, 5 boards, and 5 assists a game. And in 2025, she's torching the net from deep, hitting 53.8% from 3. That's the kind of player you build around. No drama attached. Then there's Carly Samuelson. Veteran presence, steady hands. She averages 5, 3 points and 2 rebounds, shooting over 41% from the field and nearly 40% from deep. Yeah, she's sidelined with a foot surgery right now.
DiJonai, you're always in a dirty play. DiJonai, once again, here we are today. Oh,
But at least she's not sidelining referees with security threats. That's what you call professionalism. Forget the fake hype. Dallas fans are calling this trade a win. A straight-up blessing. You can feel the relief in the air. No more defending flagrant fouls. No more answering for why their player needed an escort off the court. That dark cloud is finally gone. And let's talk real for a sec. Analysts keep saying Minnesota coach Cheryl Reeves might be the one person on earth who can fix Carrington, but not every player wants to be fixed, and some are just too deep in the mess. Reeves built a strong championship culture in Minnesota, but even the best system can't clean up someone who keeps targeting faces and turning games into circus acts. Let's not forget this is the same player refs needed backup to deal with. So, what's the real headline here? A legit title contender just added a player better known for getting ejected than getting wins. And they did it right in the heart of a playoff push. Timing suspect. The Lynx are out here chasing a championship. And they just invited the league's biggest liability into the building. Make it make sense. Minnesota is sitting pretty near the top of the standings. They've got
And this will give us a couple of different angles.
Directions of games.
There's the tip. Diggins, who's still fast, gets down the floor, buries it, draws the foul, but is shaken up.
discipline, and a squad that plays smart team-first basketball. But now they've dropped a walking headline into that mix just as the playoffs are heating up. This ain't just a risk, it's a gamble that could blow up everything they've built. Remember, Carrington doesn't just come with flagrant fouls and a bad rep. She brings tension. She brings headlines that have nothing to do with basketball.
Duh.
And now she's stepping into a locker room full of vets who are laser-focused on rings, not referees calling for backup. So, why even make this move? Some insiders say Minnesota's banking on the idea that their structure, their system, their coaching staff can keep Carrington in check. But here's the thing.
Every team thought that.
Dallas thought it. Connecticut thought it. And where did it lead? Flagrant fouls, security incidents, and one black eye after another. Literally. Let's be real. You can't just plug a player like Carrington into a championship squad and expect things to click. You're not just managing her minutes. You're managing that's when pressure peaks. Emotions run high. One wrong move, one outburst, and it could cost you the whole series. So, yeah, this trade might have given Dallas a clean slate, but Minnesota just rolled the dice on the one player in the league who turns games into drama shows. And now,
is clearly a dirty player. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if Chin, what do you have going on in that mind of yours? Are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? Are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? DiJonai, are you okay? Are you okay? Yes, DiJonai. Get it together. Collect your thoughts. Collect your emotions.
The entire WNBA is watching to see what happens next. Will Carrington stay in line? Or will she drag a contender into the chaos with her? Let's not sugarcoat it. Carrington walking into Minnesota is like tossing a lit match into a room full of gas cans. You don't bring that kind of energy into a title chase unless you really think you can control the fire. But here's the catch. Her track record says otherwise. We've seen this movie before. Teams think they can channel her intensity, that her edge will fuel the locker room. But that edge, it cuts both ways. And more often than not, it bleeds. Everywhere she's been, the story's been the same. Promising potential followed by chaos. Technicals, flagrants, teammate injuries, social media outbursts, referee confrontations, and now she's joining a franchise with everything to lose if the locker room balance shifts even an inch. Let's be clear, the Lynx didn't need her. They were already winning, already cruising, already one of the best defensive
on the floor. At first glance, this might not look too bad. But when we get some different angles of it, you just see how this is clearly, definitely, 100% not a basketball play. Let's take a look. We got DiJonai.
Signals for the officials that this will likely get upgraded.
DiJonai, did you forget what sport you're playing? You know this is basketball, right?
So now the question becomes, how long before the chaos starts? How long before Carrington